When Tony, my daughter, was about 6 months old, I took her to visit her great-grandmother. I figured it would make for some really sweet photos. She was old enough to sit up and be a bit more engaged with the camera, and it would be a special moment to capture. My parents and I loaded Tony into the car, and we got hot chocolate on the way from a local institution. My dad visits often, so we relied on him to remember the route. The thing is, though, my grandmother, Tony's great-grandmother, is dead. She died in 2006. But I really did want little Tony to meet her namesake, Antonia Meliodas Gallo. And as little Tony perched on top of the stone with my grandmother's name carved into it, I said, "Antonia, meet Antonia." It was around that time that I realized I wanted to be buried, not scattered as ashes. I wanted a place where my relatives could come and visit me, could come and have a place to be grounded in my memories. And I really believed that day, as I do today, that some part of my grandmother was meeting a part of Tony. And I remember that I wanted that meeting to feel celebratory, joyful even, playful even, how goofy and sincere I was in placing my baby on top of a marble slab in the hopes that she might commune with her dead great-grandmother. It's one of the parts about Day of the Dead that has always moved me the most, resonated with me the most, the notion that once a year you get to go and hang with your dead relatives. That once a year you set up shop in the cemetery and you party. There's laughter and eating and drinking and joy. What a remarkably refreshing experience of relationship to death and dying. One that expanded my white Western Christian traditions of taking death very, very seriously. And more than seriously, I have continued to consider the ways I have rejected the idea that our relationship ends with a person once they die. That stories stop evolving once someone has died, when in fact, I see possibility in continuing to be in relationship with those who have died as both a balm for the grief and an opportunity for liberation from pain. Who here has ever spoken aloud in private to someone who has died? A spouse who would have really loved the movie you just watched? A cousin who would have made the family reunion so much better? These are private moments in which you engage with the faith that something might be at work that you don't understand, that they might still be there for you. I want to reflect a little further now on that liberation from pain I spoke of, because what I have come to know in my years as your minister is that the concept of ancestors, of heritage, of finding deep healing and meaning in the strength or love of those who came before can feel incredibly out of reach for some. It can feel like reopening a wound all the time. And so again, to try and lean into the ease of death, the playfulness of it which can be freeing, I want to suggest something downright irreverent, or maybe even disrespectful. They're dead, and you are alive. For those who think back on grandmothers and grandfathers, on great-great-uncles and great-great-great-great-aunts, and you cringe, or you wince, you get to name the terms of the relationship now. You can still change the dynamic. You can still assert power in your life. I'm not sure just how thrilled my great-grandmother would have been with her gay great-granddaughter conceived with a known donor parading around in gender-neutral clothing, unbaptized and fully allowed to have dessert before dinner. But in this is the fact that today we know better, so we do better. in the words of Maya Angelou. You get to choose, and if that means embodying a rebellious spirit that says, I'm gay, and you wouldn't have liked it, but so what? You're dead, I'm not. It says, you rejected your indigeneity. I don't. Your grandmother who would have said, it's wrong for you to work outside the home and leave your child in the care of someone else, you say, I like making my own money, and I don't want to be at home all day. It's boring. To the alcoholics, we say, I learned how to have a healthy relationship with drinking. To the immigrants who said America is the greatest place on earth, I say, I'm not so sure I feel that way. Adrienne Marie Brown writes, I have to honor that those ancestors lived in a time of less knowing, less connectedness, and less possibility. I have to honor that their lives are crucial to my callings. I pass my current experiences of freedom and delight back to the ancestors who did not have access to rest or agency over their time. I pass my current experiences of self-love and radical self-acceptance back to my ancestors who thought they could only belong through some version of destruction of themselves and others. Let us not be imprisoned by our relationship to the dead. Do not let their disappointment or disregard reach beyond the grave and touch you now. Let yourself be easy in the death of those who came before. Let them be a guidepost or an anchor. Or let them be the reminder that you have the chance to live more, to live bigger, love harder than they ever did. And let us be liberated by that. May it be so, and amen.
Hi, I'm Reverend Hannah Capaldi.
And I'm Reverend Abby Tennis. We are the ministers at the First Unitarian Church of Philadelphia, where our mission is to awaken love and justice in our lives and in the world.
We're so grateful that you watched, and we hope that the sermon connected with your soul.
We also want to invite you to join us for a live worship service every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can always find the link to that service on our website at www.philauu.org. In these services, you'll hear words like you've just heard, and you also get a chance to greet one another, pray together, sing together, and we even hold a virtual coffee hour after services to get a chance to greet some new and old friends.
If you want to support the mission of this community and you feel moved to give, you can do so by going to the website that Reverend Abby just mentioned. You can find that link below, or you can text 215-709-5095 and follow the prompts to give.
If someone in your life needs to hear these words today, we encourage you to share this video. And again, thank you so much for watching.
We hope to see you soon.